Another big week for Cardano, not just SundaeSwap, but now we have more DEXs that are launching on the Cardano blockchain, more congestion because of that. Also, Meld have launched as well, which is, kind of like a lending application. So there's just way more dApps launching on the Cardano blockchain right now, which is great. No more ghost chain, but now we have these scaling issues. And really, there's two different ways to look at this. You can either allow more scale onto your chain and then somehow increase gas fees and go through all of that. Or you can just say, hey, look, we've got a certain amount of transactions and that's all you're going to have to play with. Keep fees relatively low and stable. That's what Cardano is doing. So in this video, we're going to look at SundaeSwap, also Aadax.Pro, which is launched, and a few other updates to the Cardano ecosystem. Let's get into the video. The Cardano stablecoin is keeping its peg to the dollar very well here at $1.02. You can see it's not really moving around. I guess in the big scheme of things, with a very soft market overall, you get kind of these few days of a relief rally and then you get more selling into it. This is just what's happening in the stock market and the economy right now, which we're not going to get into. We'll keep this video to Cardano, but the stablecoin is keeping its peg pretty well. Just a quick update as well. I'm actually upping the price for the crypto investor course next week. I've added 25 new videos, as you guys know, including my portfolio and my trade alerts. If you want to know what I'm trading and when I'm trading, plus get into our private Discord groups, check the link in the description. So yeah, coming to SundaeSwap, they released this actually a couple of days ago, just kind of recapping their launch. And obviously after the launch, we've now got some data to kind of look at to see how it's going. So TVL, almost 80 million, $71 million in TVL. That's great because for me, the way that a token price grows, especially what we've seen with Ethereum DeFi as well. So you see all of the different, Phantom and Harmony One, Near Protocol and everything like that. When TVL grows, usually the price also follows. That hasn't happened in Cardano's case. Cardano is a $1 stable coin for the time being, but it's obviously good to see that TVL, or total value locked, is growing on the Cardano ecosystem. This is obviously going to continue. 71 million, just out of context, is not a lot. Okay, so it's a very small amount in the big scheme of things. However, slowly but surely is a very good thing. More than 300 active trading pools on the exchange. We're going to see the exchange in a second. Also, a lot of these trading pools are with tokens that I would never even touch. And also a lot of the trading pools have extreme low liquidity, which is also not good. So I would just not touch any pool that has low liquidity. And most of the tokens are, just either a meme coin or, something else that I wouldn't touch. The really important thing, though, for this SundaeSwap launch is, despite the fact that it's a completely unusable DEX, is that it's had 100% uptime and there's been no errors or security issues. And that, for me, is like really what this launch was about, right? We all knew that, they wouldn't be able to transact in any real way. This is what they call a beta launch. So it's not a full working product. However, 100% uptime and no security issues. I think that was the test that they wanted to put the DEX through, and it has passed. So that's a really great thing. Just a very quick kind of update on this, and I'm going to make a tutorial later. But if you do want to swap tokens, just look here. And what you can see is the liquidity and the queue. So the queue is the main thing. So what you can see here is the depth count. So depth count is not good, right? So if a depth count is very high, it means essentially you've got a bunch of people in front of you trying to trade, and you're gonna be at the end of the queue. This isn't great because it means you're gonna have to wait a very, very long time for your trade to go through. And what that means is that by the time you put your trade in and when it actually trades, the price could have moved a lot. And if your slippage isn't high enough, basically your trade will just not go through and it will just be on the chain and will not go through at all. If you come down to some of the smaller pools, you'll see the depth count for LQ, which is liquid finance, and ADA is only 6, right? So if you do want to trade some of these tokens, it will probably go through. The Sundae ADA token pair, you're going to be waiting a very long time for that to go through, if ever. So just to keep that in mind. Also with Sundae, if you are delegated to a SundaeSwap ISO pool, you can come to the rewards page. So go to SundaeSwap on Twitter. They have a post about this. Enter your wallet address right here, the one that you're using to stake some ADA coins in the ISO, the initial stake pool offering. If you're doing that already, just enter the wallet address in here, paste it, and it will estimate your current rewards from the ISO. So it's pretty cool to see what rewards you may get. To actually get those rewards, that's going to come at a later date when the ISO is finished in kind of mid-February or early February. So yeah, cool to see that we can actually see these rewards right here ticking over. One of the downsides of this, though, has been kind of the impact on decentralization of the network, because what everyone has obviously done is put all of their ADA coins into the stake pool operators that are running the ISO. And what you can see is the minimum attack vector is just coming down over the last few days. Not great. So yeah, what I would suggest for sure is that once you finish staking in the ISPO for SundaeSwap, redelegate your coins to a smaller stake pool. A lot of small stake pools have basically come offline because they haven't got enough stake, can't afford to keep the node running and everything. So when you finish this, definitely go and see a small stake pool and delegate to them to make sure that we keep decentralization in the network, because that is the absolute main thing for Cardano. Another very good update, though, is from Milkomeda. These guys are essentially building a Cardano sidechain that will allow EVM developers, so that's Ethereum and Solidity developers, to deploy their apps clearing on Cardano. So the Milkomeda sidechain is EVM compatible. So all you have to do if you're a Solidity developer on Ethereum is just port your app over to the Milkomeda sidechain, and then that will actually use Cardano to clear. This can have some benefits, obviously, in that Cardano has its own clearing mechanism. Once it scales, there's going to be a ton of scale there for people to port their dApps over. So this is really great, and they've just launched their website. Essentially, they're coming really soon. There's a few things that are really important here. Obviously, it's really cool that Solidity and EVM developers can basically port their dApps over to Cardano. Cardano has its own ecosystem, its own community, and obviously there's an opportunity there for dApp developers to just enter the Cardano space as well with Cardano wallet holders and the liquidity on Cardano. However, what's also very important that I've read here is this right here, which is ZK rollup technology. For me, ZK rollup is really the future and the end game of blockchain scaling technology. It is, for me, the number one value accretive investment, and I'm looking to get involved with this in many different ways, both on Ethereum and wherever else it may be found. So this is really great to see that Milkomeda are working with ZK rollup tech, not just on Ethereum, but also on Cardano as well. So this is happening on both chains. Obviously, Cardano are working on this in many different ways, and they have Hydra as well, another scaling solution. So, having a ton of scale on Cardano can help the entire ecosystem and be value accretive for everyone. So this is something to watch out for. No token yet, but I assume a token is coming in the future. Something to keep an eye on with Milkomeda, but could be a very valuable application bridging the gap between EVM chains and Cardano. More news and upgrades as well from COTI, which is essentially going to be a stablecoin and payment provider for Cardano. So, much like we're seeing a lot of other applications, centralized applications give credit cards or debit cards, and you can get rewards on that, and you can use crypto to pay. It's basically what COTI is doing on Cardano, but hopefully in a more decentralized way as well. So pretty interesting to see this. COTI have just launched the COTI Treasury. This is a good marketing spin on essentially staking rewards. So if you do have COTI tokens, you can go and stake them now. So if you're a long-term holder anyway, then definitely get involved with this. I think you can buy COTI on Binance. I'll leave the Binance link in the description if you don't have Binance. They're not on every single exchange, but Binance is obviously a pretty good one for them to be on. So we can read this, and the TLDR essentially is the longer that you stake your coins for, the higher your staking rewards will be. If you are invested anyway and you're looking and thinking that COTI is maybe going to be integral to Cardano, which it probably is because they've had links for a very long time, then stake your coins and you can get those rewards. There's a lockup as well, and then you can get extra rewards like that. Yeah, COTI is going to be really a decentralized stablecoin provider and a payment provider. So you can come and look at COTI here. The one kind of negative to this, and I've been thinking about this a little bit really recently, is decentralized stablecoins and regulation. I think decentralized stablecoins are a great idea, but I really can't imagine the US government allowing decentralized stablecoins to exist. I don't know how they're going to regulate this away. I don't know how decentralization fits with regulation. I don't know how decentralization is going to not be affected by regulation anyway. Is it literally like we're decentralized and you can't touch this at all? Or are the government just going to enter some sort of law that you can't essentially create a decentralized stablecoin based on the dollar unless you have a dollar in a bank account? I assume that's going to be the way, because in my opinion, if these decentralized stablecoins got very large, like 20 trillion, $50 trillion worth of decentralized stablecoins, they can pose a serious contagion risk to the economy if they get used for leverage and in different ways. And we've seen some things happen with that regard with Luna and UST. If you have a stablecoin wrapped up in some weird leverage scheme, how does that affect the stability of the stablecoin? So those questions are still in the air, and we haven't really gone through that, but I just can't really see how the US government are going to allow decentralized stablecoins like DJED on Cardano. DJED is the stablecoin that COTI are developing that will come on Cardano, and that will be using, I believe, Cardano as the base asset to back the stablecoin. There's a lot of questions up in the air about these, about how they're actually going to be implemented and if they're going to be allowed at all, or whether they just say we're on a decentralized network and you can't touch us. I don't think that's going to be the case, and I see a lot of regulatory headaches for this in the future, but we'll see how that goes overall. Okay, that's the Cardano update. If you want to get into the crypto course before the price goes up, I'll leave the link in the description. You can see my trades, my portfolio, and over 150 videos on crypto and investing. I'm James with Money ZG. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.